Welcome back to the MA English Cafe. Today, we're talking about politeness, which is basically the art of saying what you mean without causing a social catastrophe.
And more specifically, the massive Grand Canyon-sized difference between being direct and being polite. They are not the same thing in English. Not even close. A lot of learners, quite logically, think that being clear and direct is the most efficient and honest way to communicate. But if you're too direct in an English-speaking culture, you can accidentally sound incredibly rude, arrogant, or just aggressive.
Oh, I've seen this happen so many times. It's almost a sport for me to watch now. I had a colleague once, a super smart guy from a country where directness is a sign of efficiency. We were in a big team meeting. Someone from another department suggested an idea, and my colleague just said completely flatly, "Your idea is bad. It will not work because of X, Y, and Z." You could literally feel all the air get sucked out of the room. People started shifting uncomfortably in their seats. The person who suggested the idea looked like they'd been slapped. He wasn't trying to be malicious. In his mind, he was saving everyone time. But in an English-speaking workplace, he might as well have flipped the table and stormed out.
That is the perfect, most painful example. English politeness is a complex dance of softening the message. It's not about being dishonest. It's about protecting the other person's feelings, a concept linguists call saving face. My friend had a funny experience with this. She was trying on a new dress and was feeling a bit unsure about it. She asked her friend, whose English was very literal and direct, "What do you think of this? Be honest." Her friend looked at her, tilted her head, and just said, "I don't like it. The color is ugly and it makes you look bigger."
Ooh, that is brutal. Honesty is one thing, but that's a tactical strike. What is the polite English alternative to that social execution?
A native speaker would have danced around it like a professional ballerina. They'd say something like, it's an interesting cut, but you know what? I think the blue one you tried on earlier was so much more flattering on you. That color really made your eyes pop. See the difference? We didn't say it's ugly. We said we preferred something else. The message is identical. Don't buy the stress. But the delivery is gentle, positive, and it even includes a compliment. It's a social kindness.
So you're saying we've created a whole system of communication based on never giving a straight answer. Fantastic.
It's not about being evasive. It's about cushioning the truth. Let's take a simple request. A direct way would be, "Give me the report by 5 p.m." It sounds like a command from a movie villain. A polite way would be, "Hi, I was just wondering if you might have a chance to send me that report this afternoon. No rush if you're swamped, but it would be a great help if possible." We've added, "I was just wondering. If you might. No rush. If possible." These are all softeners. They turn a command into a gentle, respectful request. Mastering this is an absolute superpower. If you want to learn more of these English superpowers, make sure you're subscribed to MA English.
Okay, so requests are one thing, but let's go back to my colleague's disaster. How do you actually say your idea is bad in a meeting without making everyone hate you? Because sometimes ideas are genuinely terrible and need to be stopped.
That's the million-dollar question in the corporate world. You use a technique I call the critique cushion. You cushion the criticism with layers of validation and collaboration. A friend of mine who's a team manager taught me this. He had an employee who would just bluntly say, "That's a terrible plan. It'll never work." Now he teaches his team a specific formula. Instead of that, they learn to say something like, "Thanks for putting this together, John. I can see a lot of work went into this, and I really like the direction you're going with the first part. I'm just a little bit concerned about the budget implications in the second phase. I was wondering if we could perhaps brainstorm some alternative ways to achieve the same goal that might be a bit more cost-effective.
Wow. That is a work of art. It's about 10 times longer, but 1,000 times better. It's like you've wrapped a critique in a warm, fluffy blanket.
Exactly. Let's break it down. Thanks for putting this together validates their effort. I really like the direction is a specific positive point. I'm a bit concerned puts the focus on your own feeling, not their mistake. And could we maybe brainstorm turns a direct criticism into a collaborative, team-oriented suggestion? It's no longer you versus them, it's us versus the problem.
That's genuinely useful. Okay, another classic situation that causes so much anxiety, declining an invitation. It's so easy to sound rude. I had a friend who got an invitation to a party and just replied to the group chat, "No, I am busy." The person who invited him was pretty offended, and the whole chat just went silent.
Because that sounds like I have more important things to do than see any of you. Again, there's a polite formula for this that every native speaker knows instinctively. You'd say, "Oh, thanks so much for the invitation. That sounds like it's going to be so much fun. Unfortunately, I don't think I can make it that night as I've already got something on. I'm so bummed to miss out, but I hope you guys have an absolutely amazing time. Send pictures."
So, a whole enthusiastic paragraph just to say no? I'll admit, it does sound much nicer. It shows you appreciate the thought, which is often more important than whether you actually go. If you appreciate the thought we put into these examples, we'd appreciate a quick like on the video.
Absolutely. It's about communicating, "I value you and your invitation, even if I cannot attend." The direct no communicates, "Your invitation is not a priority." That is the core difference between just speaking English and actually communicating in it.
Now let's get into the really advanced level stuff, the dark arts of politeness, the subtle, coded language where what we say is the complete opposite of what we actually mean. These are the phrases that can really confuse learners and make them think we've agreed to something when we absolutely have not. My personal favorite is when someone in a heated debate says, "with all due respect."
Oh, yeah. That is the universal code for, "I am about to completely and utterly disagree with you, and I think everything you just said is nonsense, but I'm going to pretend to be respectful while I do it." It's a warning sign that a verbal missile is incoming.
It is. It's the polite version of putting on conversational armor. What are some others from this secret dictionary?
That's a very interesting point of view. Almost always means, "I think your idea is completely insane, and I don't know where to begin." Or if a boss says, "I'll bear that in mind," it can often mean, "I am going to actively ignore that suggestion as soon as you leave my office, but thank you for your input." It's a polite way of dismissing an idea and ending the conversation without creating conflict. You have to read the context.
This brings us to the ultimate weapon of polite and sometimes very impolite English, sarcasm. This is where the exact same sentence can mean two opposite things depending entirely on your tone of voice and the situation. This is the final boss of fluency.
It really is. Let's take a simple phrase. "Wow, you're a genius." If my friend solves a really difficult puzzle or comes up with a brilliant solution to a problem, I can look at them with genuine admiration and say, "Wow, you're a genius." And it's a sincere, heartfelt compliment.
Right. But if I'm trying to open a jar and it slips out of my hands, falls on the floor, and smashes into a million pieces, and you look at me with a completely deadpan expression, maybe a slow blink, and say in a flat, sarcastic tone, "Wow, you're a genius," you are not, in fact, complimenting my intelligence. You are calling me a clumsy idiot.
Precisely. The words are identical, but the flat, unimpressed tone, the context of the spectacular failure, and the deadpan expression completely reverse the meaning. It's a way of being critical without directly saying, that was a stupid thing to do. It's a huge part of British and American humor, but it's a dangerous tool. If you get the tone wrong or use it with someone who doesn't understand sarcasm, they'll just think you're being weird.
So the main takeaway from all this is that in English, how you say something is often much more important than what you say. It's a social performance. You have to use softeners, be indirect, and pay very, very close attention to the tone of voice.
It's a complex skill, not just a set of grammar rules. But once you start to understand this hidden layer of communication, it unlocks a whole new level of fluency. You go from just being understood to being someone people genuinely enjoy talking to. Thanks for joining us at the MA English Cafe. Practice softening those sentences this week, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.